Hi, I'm Martin McGrath from Financial Edge Group. We specialise in helping people get themselves set up for retirement. Today I want to talk about what you should be doing for your retirement if you're aged in your 50s. Super you can typically access from the age of 60. So it's not that far away. It's going to come quick. So my top 3 tips are: 1, stop making extra payments off your mortgage. Oh, that sounds crazy. I know you want to get debt free, but typically that's the advice. Once you're in your 50s, I would advise people to return their mortgage repayment to the minimum. That extra amount you're making, start shoving that into super. Start trying to top up and maximize your super concessional contributions. Why? You're going to get a much better tax result by doing that. You might pay it off your mortgage and save the interest, which is 3 or 4%, maybe 5%. If you put that money into super, depends what income you're at, but typically if you're only earning over $40,000 a year, the money that goes into super will save you net tax of 20% plus. So that means that if you put an extra $1,000 into super, you've saved 20% in tax. You put that $1,000 against your mortgage, you've saved $40. So it's a 5 times better return going into super than it is against your mortgage. I've done a video specifically just on this, and it applies to people in their 50s. So check that out if you want to find out more. So that's step 1. Still make minimum repayments. If you've got some extra money, sure, put it into there, but I prefer you to reduce those contributions to point number 2, max out your super concessional contributions. So the limit per person is $25,000 a year. That includes what work puts in for you. So you might not be able to do the full 25 because work already might be putting in, say, 10. You've got 15,000 to do. That's $300 a week that you should be putting into your super, which will save you significantly on tax. That's per person. You do that every year in your 50s, you'll get a much better tax result. You'll get a much bigger super balance, and it means that once you reach 60, that's perhaps when we take that money out and pay off your mortgage then. So I don't want to not pay the mortgage off, but I want to use those tax incentives along the way. Make sure you've got that plan in place to do that. If you've got enough money to do both, sure, but I prefer to prioritize the maxing out your super contributions rather than paying off the mortgage. Point number 3 is important as part of this is make sure you're actively involved in what your super is doing. We're going to start chucking some extra money in there. We're talking about some significant money. We want to make sure we're comfortable with what it's invested in, how it's set up. Is it risky? Is it defensive? What does that look like? And there's different things as to what you should be looking for, and maybe we can have a chat about that one-on-one, but I want to make sure you're comfortable. If you're going to start putting in $10,000 or $20,000 a year each, you want to make sure you know it's being invested, because hopefully it's getting a better return than your interest at 3 or 4%, but you don't want it exposed or being too risky, because if we're going to take it out to pay off your mortgage, we want to be comfortable that it's going to be there when you need it to do so. So it's really about saving on tax, not about exposing extra risks. So the top 3 tips are: reduce your mortgage repayment to the minimum. Don't put extra money in. Instead, tip number 2, max out your super contributions. Make sure you get yourself that $25,000 limit. And importantly, number 3, make sure you know what your super is invested in. Make sure it's appropriate for your needs, not too risky, but still getting enough of a return. Hopefully that's helpful. That's general advice. If you want to talk about more about your own specific information, feel free to reach out. Happy to talk through scenarios to try and figure out what is the best thing for you to get the best result. But I think 50 is the most important time to start protecting and making sure your super set up.